owe them anything in principle. We only owe interest. 6.6 billion interest. Chair, that committee that you set that met in Treasury, and I went and sat with them, is focusing on how the interest needs to be calculated. Remember, LAP fund is a DC fund, a direct contribution fund. And LAP trust is a closed fund, which is a defined benefit fund, a DB fund. Now, the RBA Act provides what percentage the interest must be, but we've been negotiating that we use the Treasury bill rate, which is at around 4%, yeah, which will bring down that interest. So I want to just make it clear that in our time, we have submitted all statutory deductions. We have not failed to submit from 2022, when I got in, to date. We're up to date. The problem is a historical debt of this 32 billion of LAP trust and 7 billion of interest. The interest can actually be reduced on a DC fund, but on LAP trust it's very difficult because it's a defined benefit, and an amount also comes up called the actuarial deficit that we've been negotiating about what the actuarial deficit then should be if you're able to sort out that interest. Now, what we agreed, because I've given you the progress on this other amount of 67 billion, and the letter that I wrote then to the head of public service was that while we continue to fulfill our outstanding liabilities, the historical debt be paused so that we can do either debt swaps or write-offs. What I don't want to do is what previous administrations have done in Nairobi, where our land, for instance, Mariakani Estate was given to one of the entities, LAP fund, the citizens, or then the rent goes up, because these houses of ours really is a social thing. It is not for profit. There's no other place you'll pay rent of 3,000 or of 10,000. Now, once you commercialize it into a transaction, then you disenfranchise that citizen. So we're looking at how part of that debt owed to us by national government, they can be able to take over those loans and sort it out. That is why I said we're at 86 billion. Our discussion is on 67 billion that they owe to us. Once that is dealt with, we'll come to around 10, and then we raise our charges. If you go out here, Arambe Avenue, all those parkings that are cordoned off, some ministries have been paying, some have not been paying. I must say there's been now an improvement, because the law that you passed said that for contribution in lieu of rates or CILO or rates, instead of me billing every ministry or every national government entity, we write to the National Land Commission. The National Land Commission does one bill to Treasury, which we have done. My CEC wrote to them. I think it was coming to another 2.7 billion, and then the process of settling that as Treasury and putting it in the. I think now there's better, and I want to really thank the current CS and PS. They are more receptive. Before it was very difficult, can't pay, won't pay mentality. But today you can see they are more receptive towards sorting out what they owe us. You've asked about the sub-counties. So on pension, we really want to. So it's very unfair. Someone has worked for years, they have contributed, they have given their service to our council, to the public, and then when they retire, they cannot get their dues paid. Nairobi Water had wanted to take a loan to sort out their debt, and we paused it. We said, look, if this arrangement, which unfortunately has taken long, of the national government and Embakasi Garrison is concluded, and we did the last meeting, it can cover all those debts without me giving up county assets or getting further indebted into loans. That we would not want to go that way. Chair, the issue of sub-counties in Nairobi that you've asked is a welcome move. Actually, we're the ones who made that appeal. Nairobi had 11 sub-counties in terms of national government structure, but 17 constituencies. And so there was a huge discrepancy in service delivery. You'd find there's one place called, the DCC of Njiru sub-county was all the way from Kamulu, part of Kasarani. Yeah, there's another DCC Kasarani. So this one is in Umoja Kayole up until Mukuru Kwanjenga. And so the person in Mukuru is being served by a DCC in Njiru. It was very untidy. And so what we've been able to manage, and I want to thank the national government because they listened to us, now we have 17 sub-counties. And so you have 17 DCCs, 17 in the structure that is aligning with the constituencies. They have created now new deputy or rather county commissioners into 3 regions. Initially we wanted them to align with our borough system of 6, but they have settled on 3 for now, which for us is a welcome move, because 1 county commissioner dealing with 17 constituencies, 85 wards and 7 million people is a bit also overwhelming, because we have a regional commissioner. Nairobi is a region as well as a county, a regional commissioner and a county commissioner. So that discussion is ongoing. We've had meetings, we've had to sit down. The last one we did, I had all my sub-county commanders of the security and compliance, my sub-county admins, my ward admins, together with the police, the OCPDs, the OCSs, and the NGAO, the National Government Administration Officers, and together they've even formed their own implementation units, because you cannot do this work alone. You must work together. So yeah, that is going on well, and we are grateful for the interventions made. Senator Kamara has asked me many questions, and I know you're very passionate about education. And I must thank Senator Kamara and the Education Committee, led by Senator Montet. When I came, I think 2 weeks ago, I got a lot of good advice, especially on the area of TVETs. And we're refocusing more resources. In fact, as soon as we left the meeting, I called partners. One of the senators, I think Senator Folamu, had raised an issue on Langata women's ECD. If I'm not wrong, yeah, he's the one who raised it. Immediately I called one of our partners to go do a review and look at what we can do to spruce it up. Chair had explained that I was once a student there in the prison, because my mom used to work there, and so when I was naughty and I didn't want to go to my school, she would carry me along to prison, and I had to go to that ECD. So we're sorting it out. We've also sat down the Safaricom Foundation to look at how we improve these TVETs. I'll be calling upon my senator to assist me to do more public awareness on the courses that are available in our VTCs. Is it VTC or VCT? There's one which is for Nini. VTC, Vocational Training Centers. Because for a long time we've told people that when you fail exams is when you go to a VTC. So we discourage the youth that if you're going to a VTC, you're a failure. Yet the skills that come from VTCs, very few people who've gone through there are lacking a job. There are very few plumbers today who don't have something to do, or masons, or we are redoing some of the courses